Hey, listener, what's up? You found episode 125 of the Jock and Nerd podcast. Thanks for pressing play. Rugboy joins us for this one as we pay our respects to Gene Wilder and then discuss the latest geek news regarding Deathstroke in the Justice League movie and a huge DCEU rumor dump. Lots of great stuff. Plus, we review the series finale of the night of on HBO, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, September 1st, 2016.
It's the Jock and Nerd Podcast with your hosts, Anthony and Imran.
Jock and Nerd, hey, what's up, friend? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the nerd.
And, we're here, of course, to keep your week full of geek as always. Joining us also on the show, our favorite, bestest buddy, Rugboy. Good earth to you, Rugs.
What's up, dudes? Long time no speak.
Long time no hear. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back. How you been? How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right.
Okay, no problems with the slack hole. The cotton is nice and fresh and full.
Well, I can't say my slackle hasn't been beat up a little bit.
Oh,
but,
boy. Shit.
It healed, and it's not as tight as it used to be.
You might need some felt Botox in there. I don't know. Do they have that?
I hope so.
Anthony, real quick, picking up from last week, did you ever make it to Las Vegas?
It was not meant to be.
Oh,
It
no.
was not
Lame.
meant to be.
You'll let the nerds down a little bit.
I know.
Sorry.
All the nerds with their dicks in their hands waiting for stories. We're going to have to wait a little longer.
I think people were dying to find the answer to that story. If you listened to the last episode, if you were a new listener and you didn't listen to last episode, go back and listen. But here's what we're going to do in this episode. This is our weekly Geekly Digest, where we're going to discuss some breaking comic book related TV and movie news and rumors. And we're going to talk about the series finale of the night of on HBO. We talked about the first 7 episodes last week. We have a finale. We can now look at the whole thing as a whole. And that'll be a lot of fun. And that's pretty much your show. We got a little bit of show news at the end. And bada bing, bada boom, we'll be geeking out. Just like Kevin Smith on AMC. Only better.
Only better and less commercials and more unfiltered thoughts.
Less cuts and hand movement. All right, let's just get to the news.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
We got to start with paying our respects yet again, 2016, to a comedic legend, a genius of comedy who passed away earlier this week. Gene Wilder, at 83, was suffering from Alzheimer's. But man, I fucking love Gene Wilder. Anthony, I don't know if your generation can appreciate the Gene Wilder.
I mean, that's kind of a dumb thing to say. Why can't we
Do you
appreciate Gene Wilder?
where do you because
I'm not saying I'm a huge Gene Wilder fan, but
Yeah.
why couldn't we appreciate
well, because I guess if you grew up, everyone's saying like Willy Wonka is dead. Obviously, that was one of his iconic roles.
That's all I got. So.
That's all you got.
I think millennials only know him from the meme, like the sarcastic looking meme.
I think I saw
yes,
people.
tell me more.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Tell me more.
Oh, is that? I think people. That's why I saw people posting on social media. Hey, the guy from the meme died, and I'm like, oh shit, this is Gene Wilder, dude. My story. Right away, the first time I saw Gene Wilder, I was going through, it was in Chicago Public School. I was like 8 years old. And this is how old school and old I am. It's one of the schools where all the wooden chairs and desks are bolted to the floor in rows. You ever seen a school like this, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
You have? That's old school, right? So this is the school.
That is literally old school.
Right? It's old school. So one day, all I know is it's a big assembly. They take us into the auditorium. I don't know what's going to happen. We're all there. The lights go down. A screen comes down. And they show us fucking Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Geek boner.
And I had no idea what to expect. It left such an indelible mark with me. Like Gene Wilder in there, he scared me and I loved him at the same time. It was so weird, so interesting, so awesome. It blew me away at like 8 years old. I'll never forget that movie.
Yeah. What do you think of the Johnny Depp one? Did you think it came close?
You can't hold a candle to the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka. It's what he did with this role, like, because Roald Dahl's books are quirky and weird, and he personified that perfectly.
Yeah, like I hold that movie in high regard. I was just watching it actually.
It's so quotable, but he had other great roles. Like another memory I've had of Gene Wilder is all of his Richard Pryor movies he did from the 80s. He did like all the movies. So Stir Crazy, I remember a little kid watching Stir Crazy where Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder are walking through the jail, and then Pryor's just like, "That's right, we bad," and Wilder's a white guy trying to strut, and I'll always remember that. It's hilarious. It's a great movie.
Yeah, it's good. Young Frankenstein's where I know him from.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I mean, every Mel Brooks movie he's done has been amazing. Like the guy killed it with the Mel Brooks movies, with the Richard Pryor movies, with just being his timing and his just quirkiness and weirdness.
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles. I mean, it goes on and on. Great stuff. He'll be missed. But 2016, man, it just won't stop killing people.
Great job in Willy Wonka. Creepy as fuck, especially as I got older. And I was like, wow, he's kind of creepy. As a kid, I was like, oh, this guy's really strange. He keeps singing and stuff.
Really scary songs.
Schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
And then they they're flashing giant bugs and really, disturbing.
Is Willy
things.
Wonka supposed to be like a trippy psychedelic movie? Like, what was the real?
I mean, the book, I've read the book, and they added a lot to that. Like, they kind of extrapolated this trippy mood from the book.
Because as a kid, you're like, wow, this is a kiddie movie, but then it gets like really weird and twisted. And then as an adult, you're like, this movie is kind of a trip. I
mean, it was in the height of acid. He's written like Matilda, BFG, the just weird kind of quirky books. But they like Gene Wilder, and they definitely added like a 70s psychedelic trip to that movie for kids, which is another great thing. Looking back, you're like, you get to show kids a trippy ass movie and get away with it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
He also directed this movie called The Woman in Red.
Yes.
Which one of the first movies I saw a lady's bush.
Wait, that's in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I think it's the girl from Weird Science.
Yeah.
What's her name? The British chick.
Anyway. LeBrock? Was it Kelly LeBrock?
Yeah, Kelly LeBrock.
Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, look, Gene was awesome. Go watch his movies and remember him. Let's move on to some...
Unless you're a millennial, then you can't appreciate
fucking millennials. Look, he's more than a meme, you guys. Please, just do me a favor. Watch Blazing Saddles.
It's impossible for you to appreciate these movies if you're a millennial.
It really is. It's like...
Oh, my God. Shut up.
It is, dude. It's not? Okay, anyways... We had some big DCEU news drop all week in preparation for maybe something that's going to go on. Let's start with earlier this week. Ben Affleck, out of nowhere, posts on Instagram a silent video of them sitting, I guess, on the set of the Justice League in London, filming a monitor, watching back a scene with none other than goddamn Deathstroke looking badass.
Oh shit. Geek boner.
And there's no sound and people lost their shit. You guys, you saw this? What'd you think of this?
Looked pretty good.
I got to say, when I first saw it, I thought it was from the Batman Arkham games. I actually didn't. I thought it looked too...
it looks too polished and shiny.
Yeah, it didn't. To me, it looked like it was from the video game. I didn't realize that it was actually a reveal of Deathstroke in the movie. But yeah, the internet definitely lost its shit, and I have to say, I would lose my shit too if I hadn't seen the 3 previous DCEU movies.
Exactly.
Along with the fact that Zack Snyder is directing this, I am going to remain cautiously pessimistic on this.
Agreed. And now,
Pessimistic.
yeah.
I think he's the main villain.
Well, that's my question. I thought
No.
it looks cool. Apparently, so what he's in apparently is that, remember they talked to those guys who went to the set visits, they mentioned a vehicle called the Flying Fox that's going to be in Justice League that carries everything. You can see the Batmobile behind him even. So he's in the Flying Fox and he looks badass. Is this a cameo? Is this a post-credit scene? So then the rumors continued. Reportedly, allegedly, the guy at Heroic Hollywood says he's going to be the villain in the Batman solo movie.
I don't believe that.
Oh shit.
Because I thought that's weird. Why would you use like the Joker instead of Deathstroke?
No, I mean, it'd be cool to see a fight scene between Batman and somebody who's badass hand-to-hand combat. That would be fucking sick. So I think it'd be cool, kind of like Captain America and Batrock.
Oh yeah, I mean but
It'd be like just a fight scene in the movie, and then he's gone.
Deathstroke's a tad bit cooler than Batrock.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, I feel like that Deadshot and Deathstroke, they're kind of similar.
Yeah.
And especially since they made him cooler with Will Smith, and made him like a little more beefy.
I think it's going to start to confuse some people. But yeah, if they can introduce him and set him up with just like a cool cameo fight scene,
like he's got to be all
cool.
about the swords, Deathstroke. That'll. And then you got Deadpool.
Well, this is my next question. Yeah, Deathstroke is, if you don't know, he's originally a Teen Titans bad guy. He's kind of the opposite of Batman. He is a mercenary. He takes jobs. So somebody would need to hire him to go after whoever.
Well, there's more to. I mean, the big thing about Deathstroke is like there's this theory that we use X percentage of our brain. We're not using full capacity of our brain.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is that he uses 90% of his brain.
Ooh, that's a lot of brain.
He's like full max everything. Like I've seen books where he's written and he's taken on the entire Justice League at the same time.
Damn.
He can just anticipate everything. And you bring up Deadpool, and I think I know where you're going. Are people going to confuse the two?
Yeah. Or are they going to, once they hear his name.
Rip-offs.
Yes.
Which is funny, though, because Deathstroke is actually the original.
This is going to be great.
Wade Wilson.
Yes.
Deadpool is Wade Wilson.
I can't wait for this. Once they hear the name Slade Wilson, they'd be like, "Oh, they're just ripping off Deadpool." When you're right, it was Deadpool. It was the opposite way around.
Did they give away who was in the costume?
Well, the rumors continue.
Rumors.
Yes, rumors continue, and we have I got an article with a huge rumor dump, but we're just gonna break this one now. Rumors continue that it's one Joe Manganiello playing Deathstroke in that costume. That it's actually him. And the clues that were given were he's in London right now. His facial hair has the goatee mustache similar to the Deathstroke, and
with a little salt and pepper in.
With a little salt and pepper, throw an eye patch on him. He looks great. He looks like Manu Bennett. And Zack Snyder just started following him on the Twitters. So those are the rumors. So
I like it. I don't know. What is he? He's been in some good stuff, but I can't rate him as an actor, but physically I like him.
Physically, I think it's time for him to get a good superhero role already.
I would have tagged him for Lobo, personally. He's really tall.
Yeah.
And he's ripped.
He would be good for a lot of that type of character. So it's nice to see him getting something. Yeah. But like you said, though, I think Deathstroke fans are losing their shit. But I think the general audience is like, who the fuck is this? They may know him from Arrow more.
He got popular because of Arrow too, and if you look at the you're going to the Deathstroke fight.
Yes, have you seen this?
Was that from the video game?
This was a commercial for the video game, directed by Deadpool's Tim Miller. It's fucking awesome. I remember seeing that when it first came out. And everyone was losing their shit. So I actually think Deathstroke. Wow, I'm getting all these confused. I know there's too many dead fucking names.
Is more well known than you would think, just because of the video game and then because of the Arrow, and now he's going to be in Justice League. But I think he's a little bit more well known than like a Deadshot, who no one knew who the fuck he was until Will Smith was playing.
Yeah, listener, I will post the link to this video in the show notes, jockandnerd.com/125. If the hand-to-hand combat is anything like in this video, it's going to fucking kick ass, because that's what you need for. I want to see Batman hand-to-hand with the guy with swords and fast action,
Doesn't that
fight scene.
Picture that Ben Affleck tweeted out look like the video game? Like, to me, it looked like the video game.
I mean,
if you watch this fight scene, it looks almost the same.
Or does that mean that video games are just getting that good?
The video, it's a commercial for a video game.
It's a commercial, so I mean, it is blurring the line, and I'll agree. I mean, I think intentionally they want to put hints of injustice and video game shit in there, like we talked about, to get the people who play video games who are used to this kind of thing. But man, that fucking Batman versus Deathstroke commercial is fucking badass.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so good. Just make it look like that. It'll be fine. All right, here's the biggie, gang. Huge rumor dump just posted the other day. Now,
when is this show coming out, Imran?
Okay, here's the deal. Right now,
look like huge assholes.
Yeah, here's the deal, listener. This is what's going to happen. This is Thursday, September 1st. We're going to discuss rumors of things that apparently are going to be revealed tomorrow, Friday, September 2nd. DC is hosting some kind of large event on their DC All Access Live.
From what I read, they are doing, let's see, they're doing an all access live event on YouTube.
Like all day long?
All day long, 8-hour fucking event.
Oh, they're doing
be answering questions and be a little bit more transparent about what they're doing. I think they have to get like 1 million followers and they'll start the event.
Oh, shit. Well, by the time this is out, you hear this, listener, all of this will have happened. Yeah. But I like that they're jumping into the live stream. Like, it's very trendy. Now, here's a big brand with a huge push.
It's called DC All Access. Oh, and it's starting tomorrow or September 2nd, Friday, September 2nd at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
Wow. All right. Well, look, all we got right now is what we think they're going to talk about as posted on Reddit through 4chan, of course, always, all that whole channel. Let's discuss some of these interesting things.
Let's get into all of
them. Okay, so listen, us talking about Deathstroke is perfect with this first one. Like I said, he's originally a Teen Titans villain. So the first bullet point, Cyborg is out, folks. Expect a full Titans flick with Deathstroke as the main antagonist.
Oh, shit.
Nightwing is in it, though, if that's any consolation. Cyborg won't be in it, but Cyborg will be in the Flash movie, as Barry and Vic already know each other in school. This kind of makes sense to me if they're going to introduce Deathstroke this way and then take it to a Titans movie, which is crazy.
Wow.
Deathstroke was... what do you think?
The Cyborg movie's always been like kind of... Really? They're going to do a Cyborg movie?
Yeah, it was the last one.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, and I feel like they would dump that in a second if they could figure out something better. Which is like their whole plan is like, maybe we'll do these. If not, we'll just scrap them.
What's more interesting, though, is that they're making Cyborg and Flash kind of know each other.
Yeah.
Like from school, and that's never really been a thing in the comics.
And it's weird that he's not in the Titans movie because Cyborg is a big member of the Titans.
And it's weird that they're making... No, I don't have a problem with it per se, but it's weird that they're making Barry and Vic like kind of bros.
Yeah.
When it's always been kind of Barry Allen and Hal Jordan that were the bros. Like having that.
Yeah, there's no Hal Jordan yet. I think that's part of some of these rumors. Next one is Deathstroke was offered to a bunch of actors, but it ultimately went to Joe Manganiello. So I guess that's pretty confirmed. Sequel to Man of Steel will be released in 2020. The name Superman will not be in the title. Villain is Brainiac. We mentioned before they're trying to court several directors, including J.J. Abrams, Duncan Jones. Other characters being considered include Supergirl, Superboy. Luthor will be a key character in Brainiac's new origin. And something about Lex OS. Brainiac grows out of Lex OS. What do you guys think of that one?
What's Lex OS? Like his
so what Lex
that was
OS
like
is what they're doing is he's going to combine Kryptonian and alien tech to enhance the tech he already has, and then it's just going to become kind of self-aware.
So it'll be maybe. Do you think it'll be like an operating system people like get or download, or everyone starts using it, or it's just his?
That could
thing?
Be cool. I mean, that it's grown out of Lex Luthor, and he creates it because that'll make him a little bit have more cachet, I guess.
Well, yeah, and it'll give his character something to do other than being just this weird, bumbling,
squirrely guy in the corner.
Guy in the corner and you're like, wait, how did that guy become rich?
Yeah,
there's no way that guy became rich.
Let's hope being in prison makes him cool, like it did Nas.
Yeah, Nas, good night of reference, Rags. I like it.
His head and became Lex Luthor.
He did, dude. He went in like a little puppy, came out all thug. So this is like a long origin of Lex becoming, the manipulative, confident Lex we know. Next one, Edgar Wright is also being courted for a DCEU project. Give him something weird.
Wow. Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Oh, that could be good.
Gold.
Yeah.
Talking about Edgar Wright.
Yeah. Give him something wacky. He'll kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that boost. Yeah. Like Rugboy said, those are some of the ones.
And again, if they're like if they can just let the directors do their thing and not interfere, which sounds like they can't. You'll get a good Edgar Wright movie as long as just let him do.
Yeah, that's like a disaster waiting to happen.
It really is. I mean, what happened with Ant-Man was like the best case scenario. I don't think that would happen at any other studio.
This is just my opinion, but I don't think Edgar Wright can play in a sandbox where you constrain him.
Absolutely not.
How things are supposed in like a shared universe sandbox. He's going to want to fuck with things.
I think he needs that. Actually.
Really?
because Edgar Wright, if you watch his movies, they're all the same. Like they're all the same shots, they're all the same jokes, all the time. And like, not that they're great. His timing is impeccable, but he is getting a little stale with repeating himself. Like if you watch Shaun of the Dead, and then what's the one where the end of the world?
Yeah, The World's End, Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, they all have the same exact jokes. You can even find a meme, a YouTube bit, Edgar Wright bits, and then they'll take the same bit and show you from every movie how he repeats.
Oh no! You know what? You could track that back to that show Spaced he did with Nick Frost, Simon Pegg. A lot of the stuff they.
Are you saying that maybe
there.
like if he had a little oversight and someone kind of being like, "Hey, you're doing that,"
guide
too
him.
much,
I think that he's in his wheelhouse a little too much, and he's comfortable.
Okay.
I like that. Shake him up a
like
little.
Michael Bay. Michael Bay is like a one-trick pony and does the same shots, but Edgar Wright has way more talent in his booger.
But Ruggs, where is the line? Because you could say the same thing about Tarantino. Where's the line between this is the guy's style or he's just pulling the same quotes over and over?
Comedy, it gets stale. Action, it doesn't as much.
Okay. Next bullet point, they're trying not to make Justice League feel overcrowded, but it's very clear that there's a lot they're working with already, looking to be a long movie. They know they can't cut a ton of stuff and to repeat past mistakes. Sounds like they're learning. Justice League's villain is Steppenwolf. As you all know, the League fights parademons for a good chunk of the film. Lex is let out of prison and gets the public to love him. He tries to manipulate the public into hating heroes like Batman and Superman, but it doesn't work. Lex helps Steppenwolf come to Earth in exchange for technology and knowledge. Lex is very manipulative and much calmer than he was in BVS. See, that's what we're saying. He's also much scarier, in my opinion, of this writer. There's a funny scene after the League is assembled where Joker and Harley are committing a crime and they expect Batman to show up when the whole League arrives. It's really funny, and Joker and Harley just stand there not knowing what to do, kind of like, well, shit moment. Later, the League gets their asses kicked by Steppenwolf, but then Superman returns and weakens him. The full Justice League then works together to defeat Steppenwolf in an awesome climactic fight, reminiscent of the big fight scene in the Avengers. Superman has a beard, long hair, tattered, scorched-looking black suit, and is thin at first. Not as thin as Flashpoint Superman, but still thin. During the fight with Steppenwolf, you see his full strength return with each swing, and with each second he's in the sunlight. Green Lantern shows up at the very end of the film, may even be moved to a mid-post-credit scene. There's a full Dark Side tease in the end. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. There was so much shit in there.
That's a lot.
First of all, Batman and, Harley and Joker gonna cameo?
I'm having trouble with that one.
That's a lot of shit to shove in here. I like the scene that they mentioned.
I like that scene. I like the idea of that scene. I just don't think you're gonna pay what's her name? Margot Robbie and Jared Leto
for like 20 seconds or whatever.
For like 20 seconds. Although they did have the Joker in there in Suicide Squad for about 20 seconds. So anything's possible.
That's a lot. This is an overstuffed movie. Okay, and then
sounds like a lot's going on.
Yes. Yeah. So, what's his name? Cavill, Henry Cavill Instagrammed a close-up of a black costume.
Yeah. I got a lot to say about that.
Okay, so what do we think of him coming back in this emo, long hair, mullety, black Superman look that we've seen in the comic book, right? After he
Let me ask you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you guys ever like that black suit? Was that a cool thing from the 90s?
No, I barely remember.
What about you, it wasn't.
It wasn't a thing.
It wasn't. But let me just say this.
Okay.
If that thing that he's wearing is some kind of like Kryptonian burial shroud, and he's in the ground and he hasn't had time to shave, and his hair grew long, then it makes sense in that context.
Yes.
In the 80s, it was just long because the Jurgens liked long hair.
They just trying something different. They're like, let's make him hunky, like a fucking mullets. Yeah, it was the mullet.
He wanted it to be Fabio.
Yeah, no, exactly. I like that though. If it is in context, that does make sense. If it's just like because his hair would have grown, he would have had a beard. Everything's tattered.
You know me, like I'm the first one to criticize shit like this, but like if you think about it and you extrapolate it into the scene, it might work.
Okay, I love.
I'll just say that. Let me just say this about the black suit because I was getting somewhere.
Yeah.
No one thought that suit was fucking cool.
No.
I know that. I understand what Rugboy's saying. Like if it works in the film, and if they can make it seem like this was a natural thing, then maybe. But come on, dude. So Zack Snyder is just being retarded. No one ever liked the black suit on Superman.
He just wants to like.
As hell.
He wants to pay an homage to like every single fucking thing.
This isn't like Spider-Man where everyone was like, man, I really want to see what he looks like in the black suits. No one's ever been like, man, Superman in the black suit. That's what I want to see.
I don't think people even know that there was a black. It was like for a year. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Is there any other Superman suits that you'd like to see though?
No, it's classic.
His suit's been so iconic.
It's classic. He doesn't need armor. He doesn't need any additional things. Maybe
you want to see some of that shit torn off when he gets into a huge fight, maybe like a pec showing.
Maybe he takes the cape off every now and then because he's like, you know what? This is just going to get in the way. Let's get rid of this cape because you don't need the cape.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Who knows?
I like the bit about him getting stronger with every swing in the sun. That's kind of a very poetic image. And then fucking Green Lantern. There's 6 of them. We're like, where's the 7th? It could have been Martian Manhunter, but Green Lantern would be the 7th. But if he's in this, and then where does Deathstroke fit into all this shit? And then there's a Darkseid tease again. Okay, so the next bit goes on. There's a full Darkseid tease at the end of Justice League, but Justice League 2 may or may not use Darkseid as the villain. The biggest concern is comparisons to Thanos. They may hold off.
Which is funny because Darkseid was before Thanos.
Again, Darkseid first. Again, if you go back to listen to our Marvel versus DC show, the conclusion is DC does it first. Marvel sometimes does it better, even though they don't do it first. They improve on the idea. They may hold off and use him further down the line once the dust has settled following Infinity War. So they really want to clear from that whole thing. Other villains being considered are the Injustice League, the Crime Syndicate, and the Society. They really want multiple villains for the sequel for some reason. Tower of Babel is also being discussed as a possible plot, which Tower of Babel, the awesome story where they find out Batman has a failsafe for all of them. Who's the villain in that? There isn't.
Ra's
it was Ra's.
Yeah.
Interesting. Justice League 2.
They could definitely do a Tower of Babel and have it be any sort of villain that finds out these things.
Yeah, you could fit any one of those guys in there. Oh, that's right, because Ra's is the one who blew the whistle on him.
Man, if they did the Injustice League,
I don't want them to do that.
That'd be fucking.
It's a video game. Stick to comic book storyline.
Well, no, you know what the Injustice League was?
What was it?
Wasn't that the? The Injustice League and the Crime Syndicate. I'm getting these confused.
Yeah,
I think the Crime Syndicate was like their evil.
From Earth,
and then the Injustice League was all the villains just combining together.
I would love to see them do the Crime Syndicate. Ruggs, you have a preference over any of these?
I don't know. I think definitely not the Crime Syndicate, the ones where it's the evil versions of them.
Yeah.
I would rather see.
I like that.
Immediately backed off his point when Rugboy said
that's Chizola.
I guess it would be a little hokey, but they did it at the end of the New 52, and I dug it because they were different.
I mean, in the comics, it's one thing. In the movies, it's another thing.
Yeah.
I just hate seeing the same mirror image of the same guy.
Yeah.
The only time it works for me is Venom, because Venom is a little something more than Spider-Man.
Right.
It's an alien. It's not Spider-Man versus Spider-Man. It's like an alien that took his powers. So it's okay for me, and it does all this crazy other shit too. So, but I hate mirror images. I hate that.
Who knows if Justice League 2 will get made?
Yeah, okay, so they're saying Justice League 2 will be pushed back to the end of 2019 to make room for Justice League Dark, which they're going to have to change the title. And
wasn't it
Dark Universe? Because Justice League Dark is going to fucking confuse everybody. Dark Universe, I don't really like either because it doesn't really say anything. I don't know what else they could title it. You would be okay with Justice League Dark, Rugs? I don't think they'll do it. They'll be like, people are going to get confused.
I don't think they should call it Justice League at all. I think they should call it something else. Make up a fucking name.
Yeah, I think they're going to.
That's what they call it in the comics. So that's why the people are considering it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. Justice League Dark is real lazy.
It's again, it works in the comics, but because in the comics, for those who don't know, you got Justice League Unlimited, you got Justice League of America, you just have Justice League.
How about
Justice
League of Darkness?
League of Extraordinary Dark Gentlemen.
Yes.
People are stupid. They're going to get confused. Come up with a better name. Next one, Aquaman will release August 2018. The villain is Black Manta, though as far as I know, he has not been cast yet. The concept sketches do show the full suit, which made me very excited. They want Black Manta to be a Darth Vader-esque character. I love that. That's awesome. In that his voice and presence is intimidating and terrifying, even when he's not fighting. Here's the part I don't like. Aqualad is in it.
Lame.
And serves his father for a good chunk of the film. He eventually switches sides and helps Aquaman. There's a cool fight scene planned where Aquaman and Aqualad fight Black Manta's army before Aquaman goes off to fight Black Manta in the end. I guess you need Aqualad. I just hate his name. This is the stupidest fucking name.
If they call him Aqualad, I'll shit my pants.
You can't take a movie seriously.
They won't call him. They call him Calderon.
Right. That's way better.
That's a fucking awesome name.
It's a great name. And in the Young Justice, he is Calderon. Do that. I only didn't like it because Aqualad, it just, Aquaman is ridiculous enough. You can't fucking use the Aqualad.
So I want to get to Black Manta being Darth Vader-esque.
Yes.
Which his suit is kind of Darth Vader-esque anyways.
I bet they were inspired by it.
Yeah. So, like, I like that. I mean, and if you can get him to have a real booming voice underneath that mask, that'd be fucking awesome.
I would love it if we don't even see who he is. Like, remember in comic books, the villain for issues, 20, 30 issues, you never knew who the villain was. Like, they did that in Spider-Man with the goblins all the time, and it was a great ongoing mystery. I feel like they haven't done that really in the movies. Like, nobody's
because
doing
in the movies, if you do that, you need an awesome payoff, and they haven't even introduced.
It's too short to do that.
Who the guy is, so it's just too short.
He has to be someone's father.
Yeah.
Well, he is somebody's father, but he could still be the dude's father. Well, I guess that's giving him his way.
He could be the dude's father, but then nerds like us would be like, we know that's his father.
Yeah. So I would love one of these villains to just take a risk and keep it a mystery, and like we have no idea who it is, and it becomes part of like the mystery of the thing. Flash's release date, March 2018. Villains are the rogues. We talked about this last episode, led by a really creepy Captain Cold. The film is going to be really fun, but Captain Cold is strange. Creepy is really the best way I can describe it. I'm not entirely sold on the concept, so hopefully it'll work better on the big screen. He wears a sleek mechanical suit that has the same color scheme and pattern as his comic book incarnation. They noticed how fans love the Speed Force scenes in the show and hope to put their own spin on something familiar. I'm okay with the creepy Captain Cold. He's a villain.
I don't like it.
No?
I don't like, because I've never thought of Captain Cold as being creepy.
Like, does he mean like pervy creepy?
I don't know, but when you think creepy,
or Joker creepy,
Captain Cold's always been like a criminal that's loyal to his buddies.
I mean,
he's not really a killer either. He's just a criminal and looking to make some money.
He really is just like a street level guy.
Maybe he's like really into Christmas.
All the other rogues are actually more creepy, in my opinion. Like Heatwave and like Weather Wizard and the prankster. Those are creepy fucking villains. Not Captain Cold. Captain Cold's like the straight guy compared to everyone else.
He kind of is, and Wentworth Miller made him smarmy. So
I don't like.
He's like a pedophile in an ice cream truck.
That's what I think he's getting to. That's what Captain Cold is gonna be.
That's Arnold level. Man.
Oh shit. Oh boy, that could go. You're right. That could get really cheesy. Next bit is about the Batman film, right now called The Batman. Though they're considering other titles, will release October 5th, 2018.
They should just call it Batfleck.
They should call it Batfleck 1. Current plot has Black Mask as the main villain, breaking other villains out of Arkham to kill Batman. Joker and Harley have a subplot involving a bomb to blow up all the inmates once Batman recaptures them. All that results in Harley leaving the Joker because of the abuse and Batman trying to rehabilitate her. Deathstroke is sent in by Waller to help contain the situation so she can use them for her own means, but Batman fights Deathstroke and promises Waller that he's coming for her next. Deadshot is also in it, holy fuck, but leaves the asylum to be with his daughter instead of getting his revenge on Batman. There's a really cool scene where Black Mask lines all the villains up and asks who will join him to get revenge. This scene will focus a lot on Deadshot's reactions, making it clear he wants only freedom. Many of the villains get away in the end, with Batman promising to hunt them all down. The film will end with Batman overlooking Gotham and seeing one of the B-list villains he has yet to be decided committing a crime. Huh. What do you guys think about that plot?
Sounds like the plot of a video game.
It sounds like Gotham a little bit, like the TV show.
I actually, if they're able to pull it off, I kind of like it because we've never seen all these villains at the same time.
Well, it's kind of exciting.
It's a different kind of Batman movie, definitely.
Yeah. And I mean, if they're going with the Batman's been around forever, it would make sense that he's dealt with all these people. So if they're able to pull it off, I think it'd be hella interesting.
I do kind of like that they're all aware of him. They all kind of have a beef with him. Now, look, they saw how popular Will Smith is. They got the Deadshot. They got the Harley Quinn in here. To see Deathstroke, Deadshot, Joker, Harley, Black Mask, and other fucking villains and in the Batman movie would be really fun.
Maybe they just like get like really weird Batman villains like Firefly and like Professor Pig.
Oh, Professor Pig
like the
and
weirdest
Toad?
fucking villains ever.
Those are great.
Clayface.
But see, it's dangerously tipping to like the Gotham TV show tone a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know. The Gotham TV show, I mean, they'd have to try really hard to try to copy
that's
that.
true. Wow.
I don't know.
I mean,
anything that makes you think that they go to that far to camp? Go ahead, Rugboy. I'm sorry.
It's interesting in this post-Suicide Squad, DC universe. Anything can happen now. You got fucking crocodile people.
Yeah.
You got Harley Quinn. You got a dude who jumps in the air with ropes and get his head blown off.
Not anymore.
You got everything going on. So
you got metahumans. You got magic. They can really just. I like you can just jump in, hit the ground running. Everybody knows Batman.
So it's cool in that way that they've introduced all of this fucking weird ass shit that's normal in the comics, but in the movies might come off weird.
Yeah.
So they've been able to kind of toe that line, which is an accomplishment in it of itself. So hopefully they can actually play with this
because it work. And in terms of like connecting and building their universe, this is a good move. That's kind of what you want.
I would love to see a Batman movie where he just is like, it's not about him and his psychosis and all this other shit. It's just about him kicking ass.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty cool.
I mean, you forget that how until like Batman Begins, the movies were never about Batman. They were about the villains, and it was really fucking annoying. I hope this doesn't fall under the same kind of thing.
The thing is, they make Batman like Jason from like Friday the 13th. Like he shows up and then and he's kind of like the bad guy, and they're running afraid of him.
This is the machine, an urban legend machine.
Yeah,
I like that.
The Terminator.
It'll be interesting to see what Ben Affleck can do with it. I liked his film. I liked the Town.
Absolutely.
I liked Argo, so
can't wait. 2018. The next bit of news. Mentioned somebody we talked about. Was that the last episode with David C. Hayes? Everybody's least famous Dracula, Luke Evans, actor Luke. Who? I still don't know. I kind of know what he looks like. Luke Evans was approached to play Sinestro in the Green Lantern Corps.
Shit. That's a great casting, right?
He's got the head for it already.
He definitely has the point. He has like the pointy chin, big head, egghead thing, right?
And you need like the widow's peak sort of thing going on.
Ruggs, that's a good pick. He looks the part.
I like him as an actor. I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he's good. And he's kind of like a tall guy too, isn't he?
Yeah, he was in.
He's 6 feet
Fast
even.
And the Furious too. He was a villain in that, and he was appropriately intimidating.
6 feet, 6 foot even. Fast and Furious, Furious 7, The Hobbit, Dracula, Untold. Yeah. Oh, it was in The Immortals. Ugh, that movie's horrible. Clash of the Titans.
I liked what's his name? Mark Strong, was that his name in the first Green Lantern film?
He was great.
He looked just like Sinestro.
But like this guy kind of looks like Sinestro too. So
continuing on, it says, not sure if he agreed. The film will be lighthearted and fun. They're modeling the tone after old cheesy sci-fi serials. As of right now, the villain will be Sinestro with a tease of atrocitus towards the end. Subject to change, however. They want to explore the various Lantern Corps with this film and the sequels. Fucking A, bring it on. Don't fuck it up this time.
Yeah, I mean, I was always looking forward to a Green Lantern film, and that one in 2011 really fucking let me down. So
that may be.
Did you ever watch the animated series?
Yes, it's awesome.
Yes.
I loved it.
That's what Green Lantern should be.
Yes, perfectly. Yes, it was space adventure, great tone, a lot of heart, great relationships, characters. Why can't they just do that?
Like they need Green Lantern's off doing shit like in the universe, being a space cop. And then he gets tapped whenever the Justice League needs a big, heavy hand, Yeah. So that should be the way it is. He shouldn't be just like sitting there in the Justice League, just twiddling his thumbs, waiting to do something.
I mean,
what the film really missed on Green Lantern is they kind of made him like angsty Spider-Man.
Yeah.
where it was
That's
like
not
he was
his character.
questioning his place, questioning like, should I be a hero? And it's like, no, that's not Hal Jordan.
Nope.
Hal Jordan literally gets the costume. He's like, fuck yeah, I'm
Let's
gonna be
go.
the best.
Yeah.
And he's got like this kind of false bravado because he wants to like prove that he's better than he is his father and he's worthy of becoming like his dad. So he's got this like showmanship to him.
And he's got
not,
fighter
like,
pilot genes, man.
Yeah, and he's not sitting around moping.
No. Those guys are confident hot dogs. A little insider info listener. I believe we've officially locked down Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern for our next What the Fuck Happened edition. So that'll happen sometime soon.
Cool. Nice plug.
But that'll be a good one. Okay, they want to do something fresh and new to revamp Black Adam in Shazam. From what I've heard, Dwayne Johnson has been in constant communication about what they could do to make this film better. Billy is also a huge Justice League fan, and he meets them at the end of the film as Shazam.
I like that. I like playing up that the kid is like really into the Justice League.
Oh, sure. He'd be like, these are my superheroes.
And I like the idea of Billy being this kid that is just an overgrown kid in a Superman body, basically.
Yep.
He's still acting like a child. I've always liked the Shazam.
So they wanted The Rock for Shazam or Black Adam?
No, he's Black Adam.
Oh, he's Black Adam.
He's the villain.
You need a similar shaped guy to play Shazam because, again, these guys.
Great for Shazam too.
He would. But this is another case of like the villain is the mirror opposite of the fucking hero again. But that's just how this Shazam thing works.
Well, sort of. I mean, they both have similar powers, but Black Adam's like this old king that doesn't realize he's not a king anymore. And Shazam is this kid in a grown man's body having fun.
That they've passed on the magical mantle to.
So the personalities are wildly different.
Yeah. No, I would love to see that guy full grown Shazam acting like a little insecure kid. Like that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Moving on, Misha Collins, Channing Tatum, Milo Ventimiglia, Stephen Yeun, and Jake Gyllenhaal have been approached for various roles. Stephen Yeun, get Stephen Yeun a big blockbuster role. We can break through the Asian wall, people.
Those are all names. For sure.
Those are all great names. Rob Lowe was approached to play one of the villains in the Flash film. They apparently really want him to play a villain. Who the fuck would he play?
Rob Lowe?
Weather Wizard, Mirror Master, one of those fuckers.
Well, he definitely looks in the mirror a lot.
Yeah, that would be that would work. Emily Blunt, Rosamund Pike, Alexandria Daddario, and Jessica Chastain have also been approached. Man, they're looking at some
Alexandra Daddario.
Yeah, who's that?
She's so hot.
Really?
She's so hot.
Oh,
there's
please.
pictures of her with her titties out.
Oh, hello.
Have you ever seen that what is that? The cop show with
True Detective.
True Detective.
Oh, she was in. That's right. Oh, her. Yes.
She's super hot.
Yes, and they definitely made a discovery on that crime scene.
Oh, she's in the new Baywatch too. That's going to be coming out. Makes sense. She got kind of the Carmen Electra look.
I think she's a lot better actress.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
She's actually pretty talented.
Yeah. Right on. Expect full trailers for both Wonder Woman and Justice League, emphasizing the fun of these movies. The Wonder Woman trailer shows the villain a little. Also expect a bunch of announcements regarding casting, release dates being moved, a few new films being added to the slate, plans for DCEU shows, and DCEU animated movies. No shows or movies will be announced, just that they are making stuff that tie in and more. Going off that last bit, they're planning on bringing the DCEU shows to HBO exclusively. Ideas being tossed around include Birds of Prey, Nightwing, The Question, heavily considered as being the first, The Phantom Stranger, Zatanna, and Dr. Fate.
Let's spend just a minute or two on this, because this is actually kind of big.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on DCEU kind of creating their own Netflix stuff, but exclusively to HBO? Because HBO is kind of making a comeback with the Night of.
Yes.
They have Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And they were popular with The Sopranos. What do you guys think?
Westworld is picking up buzz. I think it's really smart because Marvel is locking down Netflix. Marvel has got a show on Hulu. They are starting to take over streaming services, except for HBO.
But the thing is with HBO, like Netflix, I don't understand what their whole way of doing things is, what it needs to be successful. But HBO pulls shows off all the time that don't do well.
They cancel shit right away. Yeah.
That's a dangerous territory. They have to hit it out of the park.
I think they're trying.
It's
HBO is
risky.
trying to push their app HBO Go or
the
their
streaming
service. Yeah, they're really trying to push that. And HBO at one time was considered like the premium channel to have with its boxing.
Yep.
They had the best boxing fights, the best movies, and the best TV shows.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
it still does have.
They do.
It still does. Yeah.
I mean, the Night of did a good job filling in the Game of Thrones slot.
Possible shows.
I think
Nightwing could work.
A Nightwing fucking the Nightwing show at HBO would be kind of awesome.
Because Dick Grayson gets laid a lot.
Yeah, it could be brutal.
The question would be really.
The question. Some of these would be really weird. Nightwing could be their Daredevil on HBO if you think about it.
Oh, totally.
Really
Nightwing. That's who he is.
Yeah, this is pretty smart for them to try to get HBO.
Do you think it's actually like a detriment not to have something that's Batman adjacent? Like you have that Gotham show on Fox that's Batman adjacent, and there's no like real Batman in there.
I think this is different because I think Nightwing has established himself now as just being a standalone hero by now.
Here's a pro to being on HBO, and let me know if you follow my logic. So Marvel does the Netflix thing, and they'll release all the shows at once, obviously. So there's buzz around, Daredevil or Jessica Jones for like a week.
Right.
And then everyone stops talking about it. But on HBO, if they follow what that format's traditionally been, where they release one show a week for 8-10 weeks, the conversation is longer.
Yep.
So people are talking about DC a lot longer than
yep.
normally would, especially if these shows are good. So maybe that's a good idea strategically so that DCEU is in the conversation of pop culture for a lot longer.
That's a good point.
I can see that. And I actually agree with that whole thing. With it's one and done. You could 2 days you can do a whole binge watch, and it's not quite the same experience. I mean, I like it better sometimes, but yeah, it does fade out of memory fast.
It has legs to some extent because I still every day run into people I turn on to like, oh, you got to watch Daredevil, or they're like, I'm watching Daredevil now. I'm watching this now. So it's a slower word of mouth telephone, game.
Yeah.
But
I think you lose some of the, and I prefer the binge watch too, but I think especially now we're going to get into Night of later, but man, people were talking about the Night of every week. Did you watch the Night of? Did you watch the Night of? What'd you think?
Yep.
So especially if it's a great show, 8 to 10 weeks of being in the conversation, I think really helps the brand.
You can't beat that. I mean, Walking Dead does it every week. Everything on HBO. Sunday night is the night to put the show on because Monday morning, whoever's talking about these shows wins. Yeah.
But then you have shows that no one even watches, like Outcast.
Or Mr. Robot. Like, I love Mr. Robot. I can't find anybody else who watches it.
I watch it, but Outcast was on, I think it was in Cinemax.
It was it was Stars. I watched the first episode. It was Kirkman. Dude, Outcast is weird. Robert Kirkman was writing this book. He's 20 issues in, and it gets picked up, and it turned into a TV show.
Yeah, and it's the same guy who does Walking Dead, who's knocked it out of the park and made like a whole movement.
No buzz on that though. And
Cinemax.
Well, it's kind of like Preacher in a way. It's a guy.
You think it hurts because it's on Cinemax, which is basically Skinemax, and everyone thinks that channel's kind of that channel.
I think that doesn't help.
Yeah.
Well, they have Banshee, and that's a lot of people
never heard of it.
Oh, ironically, Cinemax is owned by HBO.
Yes.
Oh shit.
HBO's little daughter.
Ruggs, I gotta agree. I thought more people would be talking about the Outcast because I gave it a shot and I was like, oh, there's potential. Let's see if people talk about it. Nobody's fucking talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to talk about.
Is it good?
It's a decent show.
Okay.
Well,
if you like that type of shit.
It was released in the same summer that Night of and Stranger Things.
Yeah. So the winners clearly.
And Preacher, like it came out the same time Preacher came out. So it was just overshadowed. Okay, there's a couple of bits more. We'll finish this up. The animated films will show what some of the characters are up to during the events of other films. Wow.
That's weird to me.
They're now going to tie in to the animated movies more.
I know Star Wars does that, but Ruggs, do you like that stuff?
DC never did that.
Animated movies being tied into real live action?
It doesn't. In Star Wars, it kind of works, but the Star Wars does like a whole series about these side characters that are in continuity.
Yeah, that works better.
And the stuff is already passed. Like this shit already happened already in other movies.
Right.
So then they can take that skeleton and work inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think this way it's a little bit more dangerous because there's nothing set in stone.
Yeah.
And all of these moving parts are being developed at the same time, and it could get sloppy.
Dude, I think this is a really stupid idea because look at how much trouble Marvel has where they're like, look, production schedules, we've locked this guy down, this shoots all at once. It's now you're dealing with an animated film that takes years. Where so many things could change.
And you know that it has no respect.
Yeah.
In the eyes of a person who's making a real movie.
Well, yeah.
They're going to be like, fuck the cartoon.
Yeah. Why would they? I would
not.
not.
Does it have no respect in the eyes of the person making the movie? It still has a lot of respect to gain in terms of regular people watching the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I know Pixar's done a lot for animated films and DreamWorks, but as a casual fan, I don't know if I'd be like, I have to watch this live action film and then watch an animated film and it's going to be in the same universe. Like, this doesn't even look the same.
Now, are they talking about 3D animation or just 2D?
I mean, I would think they're continuing with their 2D animation that they've been doing. Which I will also argue that Suicide Squad Attack on Arkham, that's a better fucking Suicide Squad movie than the live action Suicide Squad. So check that one out if you haven't, listener. Speaking of Suicide Squad 2 will happen, though, after 2020, likely to be 2021. We'll have a slightly altered roster. It will also not be directed by David Ayer. The DCEU has been mapped out to about 2025. The Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie is up in the air right now. They're leaning on the edge of approving it after the success of Deadpool, but may use it as an HBO show. That's all the rumors. And look, listener.
Well, there's a couple more at the end.
Oh, there is?
Oh, well, yeah. The next part, it says, it definitely seems like George Miller will direct a DC film sooner than later.
Oh, as well as JJ, which now he's going to have Star Wars, Star Trek, DC, and wow.
That's a lot of shit going down.
Look, listener, by the time you hear this, you will know which of these came true. And
we won't know everything because a lot of this is revealing plot points.
That's true.
That's not going to be revealed in any sort of conference that they have or what they're doing tomorrow.
This is a crazy rumor dump. We will discuss what happens during their live access thing in our next episode.
Can I just say something about the rumor dump?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen stuff like this posted on Reddit. I remember talking about Spider-Man's plot on Reddit.
Yeah.
The new Spider-Man coming out, and it looks like that's not real. So take it with a grain of salt. I would say any projections more than like 2 years out, so like till 2018, also going to be taken with a grain of salt because as we've seen with Marvel, who actually like went out and did an official announcement, they were like, Inhumans is coming out in 2019, and this is coming out, and this is coming out. That all changed right away. Inhumans is not even being made anymore.
Nope.
So anything that you're talking about, like 2020, I'm like, let's wait and see. I don't know if they can, like the movie industry is so fickle that I don't know if you can plan that.
Yeah, plans are going to change.
Right. It is interesting that they said the year 2025.
Yeah, they kept, it seemed like this kept saying 2020. Like it seemed like this kept saying movies were either coming out in 2018 or 2020. And I'm like, what about the other years?
I mean,
listen,
who knows?
They're spending dickloads of money on these movies. So they need to make sure that they recoup their costs to make the next movie. They can't really say how these things are going to perform. So it's all about the monies that if always shit makes money, all these movies will happen.
Yeah.
It also looks like they're trying to up their transparency with the fans, because when they initially, I remember when they initially announced, and I put this in quotes, announced their original DC lineup, it was in a boardroom. It wasn't even like an official event.
At that point, they didn't know.
It was super corporate. Like now, so they're trying to like.
But they're slowly figuring out how the world works now.
Well, they want people to be like a little bit more aware of things and a little bit more in on it as far as.
I mean, they should have been transparent. The trend is now every corporation needs to be transparent. You can't hide behind bullshit. Hey, a little late to the game, but hey, it's a good start. Look,
some of these are good, some of these are bad. Hopefully, some of this is true.
Yeah, if 10% of this shit pans out to be true, it's going to be some good stuff.
We just spent an hour speculating on stuff that tomorrow will be completely obsolete.
None of it's going to happen. All right, you assholes, let's finish up the news real quick. In TV side of news, I got a couple of things about Arrow Season 5 that I thought were kind of fun. The first one is Dolph Lundgren is going to appear on Arrow.
Oh, shit.
Season 5.
Drago,
fucking shitty Punisher. Dolph Lundgren, he's...
Universal Soldier.
He's the Universal Soldier. What's the other movie? Keep saying Dolph Lundgren titles. I love it.
Oh, shit. That movie where he's against the Chinese triads or something.
Oh, that was Showdown in Little Tokyo.
Yeah, Yakuza. I'm sorry.
All right, you got
Wrong Asians.
Yeah, you got he's He-Man and Masters.
Oh shit, he was He-Man in my favorite Masters of the Universe.
He was in Johnny Mnemonic. He was the crazy priest in Johnny Mnemonic.
The Expendables.
He was in the Expendables as the crazy dude. And he's been in a lot of like direct-to-video movies.
Ypoint. Quality
filmography. When he's in a franchise, does that mean it's the end of the franchise? Because he immediately just kills everything.
That's a good point. I
think that if you use him correctly, he's fine. If you use him like Drago or he's this big goon, then you're cool.
Ruggs, you nailed it. Dolph's character, according to the producers, is a government strongman. He is scary and formidable, and he had a role in some stuff with Taina's family last season. He's a bit of a badass.
He's the head of the Bratva is what I'm reading.
But this says government strongman. The other thing that was interesting is they said the season 5 flashbacks would be dealing with Oliver's past with Bratva, the Russian crime syndicate. And they also said this will kind of be the last season of flashbacks, sort of.
Good. Let me just say one thing about Dolph.
Yeah.
Actually, Universal Soldier. I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
No.
He was actually
Is it good?
Pretty good. He played a really good
he was good.
Marine crazy guy that was cutting off people's ears.
I feel like I remember like the idea of the movie. That was with Jean-Claude Van Damme also, right?
Yeah, they were both in Vietnam. It was supposed to be like the Terminator, like whoever's answer to Terminator. I think it was maybe Universal, probably. I don't know. Maybe it would only make sense. But they were both in Vietnam, and then they got brought back and turned into super soldiers. And
never seen this, Imran?
Yeah, man. This movie is actually kind of like a cult classic.
I may have seen it once. I can't.
It's actually
remember.
Pretty entertaining. For what it is.
Okay, I might have to revisit.
And there's been like 4 or 5 sequels.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And some of the sequels are actually pretty cool too. They have, like some MMA guys in there.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. So look, I think Dolph in that role will be a lot of fun. I think you will have a lot of fun. And it'll just be cool to see him. Like, it's just like an iconic B-movie action star. I don't know. It'll be really neat to see him up there with Oliver.
I think it's fun.
So this is what they said about the flashbacks. They said last year, when we sort of realized we were going to go past season 5, we basically made a collective decision that season 5 would be the final year of flashbacks.
Oh, shit.
Next year, in season 6, what we'll end up doing is we'll do some episodes without any sort of flashback, but we've also established over the first 4 seasons a proof of concept that we can do flashback stories that don't involve what I call the island narrative, even when he's not on the island. So basically they're saying after the island flashbacks are over, they'll actually use the flashbacks to add to the story. It'll tie into the episode and it won't be like a running flashback. But, you know, the flashback, it's a storytelling device. You don't want to overuse it like they've been doing it. So
they got to just let it go. Let it go.
I wish they did after season 5, but you can't. Occasionally, I think you got to use a flashback to keep the movie to connect pieces of the story.
Well, they wrote themselves into a hole because they said this is 5 years ago and they continued the flashbacks and this is the 5th season. So they wrote themselves into we have to explain how Ali got off the island bit.
Yeah. They've also said
it sucks because the flashbacks have gotten considerably worse season after season.
Well, once they took him off the island in like the second year, then you're like, okay, well, it's not interesting anymore.
What's the point of all this? And they also said they might do flash forwards, and then with Flashpoint, shit might be changed and shit. We don't know, but I thought that was fun. Fucking Dolph Lundgren. Okay, moving on to the Marvel side of things. There's a great featurette that was put out by Netflix about the music used in Luke Cage. Again, I can't wait for the show, the hip hop influence. The video's great because Redman's in it. And he's like, yo, this is the show I wanted when I was 8 years old. But clearly the care they are taking with this show to give it an authentic Harlem voice is so cool. And it really gets me hyped.
I hope it's better than the Get Down.
I like the Get Down, Ruggs.
Oh man,
I will battle you on that later. I can defend the Get. I loved it. I can defend the Get Down. So the music supervisor Adrian Young explains from a musical perspective. Ali Shaheed Muhammad, who's was the DJ in A Tribe Called Quest. He's working on the score. Ali and I look at this as we're creating 13 albums. It's 13 episodes, like 13 albums. We have music that is inspired by A Tribe Called Quest, but at the same time inspired by Wu-Tang, Ennio Morricone. And we all came together and said we all wanted to make something great, not just for black people or minorities, just something great that happens to be based on our culture. It's like it was just one of those things where we have a chance to make history here. This is going to be very unique. Like, I think that the care for this soundtrack and fitting into the show. I can't wait.
I'm also excited just because Marvel's done very well on Netflix so far.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
And they're all going to be named after Gangstar songs. Another spoiler I found for Daredevil on Netflix season 3. A little spoilery bit. I don't know if it's going to be real, but they're saying villain for season 3, Bullseye, which makes sense.
Just one?
Just one Bullseye.
He's a little thin for like the whole season being the bad guy.
That's a good point. I think it would bring the Kingpin back with
unless
the
they
Bullseye.
elaborate on how fucking crazy he actually is, which I think could be interesting.
We could see him become Bullseye, and get to know the character.
Well, he's this fucking guy that literally is just obsessed with being the best, and then he finally comes across a guy that he can't fucking top.
What if
his obsession?
What if the Kingpin hires him to pretend to be Daredevil?
Ooh.
And like sully his name.
Ooh, I like that
too.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think if he's in it, like, you don't use him a lot. You just use him for a couple of episodes, a couple of key points at some point. They also said after the Defenders, Daredevil realizes he can't do this alone. He needs teamwork, and he's going to give up some responsibility. It's pretty much going to change how he views Hell Kitchen and fighting crime after the Defenders, which is cool. Very cool. 2 more things. Marvel, we're talking about streaming. They are trying to take over streaming everywhere and reportedly developing a comedy series based on the New Warriors, but with Squirrel Girl as the lead, which is a very strange combination.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the New Warriors. I'm sorry.
Well,
do you know about Squirrel Girl, though?
Do you know about
I know she's become like a cult hit, basically.
Doreen Green. Doreen Green was actually part of the Great Lakes Avengers, but they didn't want to make a Great Lake Avengers show. She's never been the New Warriors. And the New Warriors started like in the 90s, and you had like Nighthawk and Speedball. And they actually, and then in the other version, they caused what led up to Civil War. That version of New Warriors they were reality TV stars. But I feel like they just want to cash in on this latest Squirrel Girl, Anna Kendrick, cast me a Squirrel Girl fucking thing.
Probably, yes.
The girl from Stranger Things also wanted to play Barb from Stranger Things wants to play Squirrel Girls. Well, this is all, it's very early, but I think Marvel needs a comedy. I like that it's a comedy sitcom superhero. Show me
what show is it going to be, or what TV channel is it going to be on? Have they said?
They don't know. They're shopping it around to like streaming services. They're not. I don't think they're looking at network TV. They just want a show on every fucking platform, which I guess it's smart.
It's smart, but as a consumer, it's
expensive.
Kind of turns me off. Well, it just turns me off because I'm like, fuck. If I'm supposed to pay attention to all this shit, now I'm just going to pay attention to none of it.
It gets to be a little much. Finally, gang, if you're a fan of Stranger Things, a hot Netflix show of the summer, other than
heard of it. Little show
called Stranger Things that Anthony has yet to watch.
Yeah.
And that we've had a request from our listener friend Cameron Gibson to do an episode on Stranger Things. You got to geek out about this news. Why?
Geek boner.
Netflix made it official. They're getting a second season, continuing the stories of the 4 kids and their adult counterparts. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, they explained that old characters will return and be the focus. New ones will be added. New towns may be explored. And the genius sequels of the 80s will be a big influence. I love that. Whereas the first series was a bunch of these 80s movies mushed together. They're talking about looking at movies like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Aliens, and Terminator 2 as influences for the second season. 2 of those, right? Isn't that great? 2 of those being James Cameron movies. They have also said the Upside Down will be in it, and there'll be some new characters. Dude, people were losing their shit when they heard this. Everybody that watches Stranger Things that I know, they were like, holy shit.
I'm very skeptical they're going to capture the same magic, but if they pull it off, I'm going to be fucking happy as hell. I love the first season.
Yeah, I like the direction they're going in already. You need the 4 kids. And I was like, grab some other 80s movies, mush that together, show me that. I like the whole sequel idea.
80s action movies?
Yeah, 80s action sequel. So
you get like Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Jean-Claude Van Damme to all hang out with you.
Maybe there'll be more explosions.
Steve Seagal.
More accents and funny lines.
Just bigger, better, more explosions.
Yeah, that's right.
But the thing is, those movies didn't cost that much.
No, they didn't.
Right.
And they were still entertaining.
Yeah, at the time they did. I mean, you can watch Temple of Doom now and you see puppets and little fucking models. Like, it's clearly little models and puppets in there. But whatever, it's the works. Nobody gives a shit. There's also a cool teaser trailer that just has the episode titles of next season. And there's 9 episodes. One more than last season. All good stuff.
Is 11 going to be part of this?
Well, they didn't say anything about 11, and I think that's smart because that's the one thing you don't want to spoil.
Okay.
So they didn't say anything about 11. They wouldn't talk about it, which I like that. They left it up in the air because that'll be what people want to know coming back. Anthony, you got to watch the show.
I will.
Okay. That's it for the news, listener. Moving on.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Are you afraid of what goes bump in the night?
Have you or your friends ever pondered a conspiracy?
Do you want to know more about the unknown?
If so, then put on your tinfoil hat, sit down, and pick up your computer, tablet, or phone. Go to iTunes or YouTube and search for Secret Transmission Podcast and listen to us try to explain the unexplainable.
Follow us on Twitter for updates on shows.
At Secret Trans Pod. That's SecretTranspod.
Or you can email us suggestions
at secrettransmission@hotmail.com. That's SecretTransmission@hotmail.com.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, JT.
Cody. Jacob.
Whiskey TK. Hey, Jock and Nerds, this is Insert Coin to Continue. So you already fucked.
All right. Everyone needs to know that
that's 2 week fucking air horn.
I disagree.
Yeah. What came
putting this in
for the Jerk Olympics?
Just go that for
roll with it.
Please check us out at insertcoincontinue.ca
and on Twitter at credit2continue. Bye.
Peace.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
All right, well, first I got to issue this thing right here.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Because we're going to discuss the Night of series, specifically the series finale. Now that it has aired last week, if you caught us, we kind of sucked this show's dick a little bit. It's a good show, not without its flaws.
No, without its flaws.
Now that it's over,
I feel like Rugboy needs to get in the first.
Okay, I feel like we can.
He didn't get to talk about it.
No, he didn't.
And he needs to rev the engine up.
I think you're right, because I feel like being a little bit critical of this now, looking back at the whole series. Ruggs, why don't you start us off? Your thoughts on how this series ended?
I actually enjoyed a lot of this.
Whoa. Ruggs actually likes something.
Okay, but let me just say that as it goes on, I feel manipulated by how they introduced Nazir, because the way he acts in the first episode is not characteristic of a person who does all the things that you find out he did in his childhood.
I see what
you know what I mean? He's a darker person than you think. And so for him to be as kind of like a
sort of guy.
a deer, a babe in the woods, about everything.
Yeah.
A deer in headlights look all the time. Like, I was like, oh man, this guy's harder than you think. Like, he fucking pushing dudes out on the stairs, selling drugs, lying to his parents. Like, that's something like stealing your dad's cab should be a nothing to him at that point, because he's already lied to his parents about all kinds of shit.
Here's my argument, my counter to that. Growing up in a Pakistani Muslim family where your parents are religious, you lie to your parents about everything, even stuff you don't think you have to lie about. You can't tell them
Yeah, so you're like a ninja at lying at this point.
Absolutely, I am. Like, I kind of relate to that.
Your mom doesn't know anything you're doing right now.
No, because
she has no idea.
It's first of all, she wouldn't understand what a fucking podcast is, but it's for her own good. You think I overreact to shit? Where do you think I got it from? The woman would have a heart attack if she knew 1/10 of the shit.
But that's the point. You can lie to her without even trying.
It is kind of.
You can literally probably
You're right.
Like, just keep anything. You can walk an entire congregation.
I could hide a murder.
Yes,
but his darkness does kind of come out just in the fact that he didn't try to call an ambulance and check if maybe she could be saved. He just fucking took off like a fucking scared motherfucker.
I don't think it's not that. I understand what Rugboy is saying. It's the fact that he was playing such an innocent dude, and the fact that he has this dark past. There's no way he would be like the puppy like he was.
Yeah.
He'd be a little bit harder than the way he was portrayed in the first 2-3 episodes.
It just seems like in order to lie and do like they were trying to build the case against him, like he sold these drugs and he sold them at a high profit and he used his prescription and this and that, and he never got caught, So, or did he get caught? Did he get caught?
Not.
How did they find out?
Not with the Adderall. They found out through Facebook with all the people thanking him.
Yeah, his friend sold him out.
Yeah.
That's a white collar crime, though. Come on, it's nonviolent.
But that's selling drugs. Like if
but it's a lot different.
Would have found out that you were selling drugs, you'd be fucking. They would throw you right out of the house.
They should give him a bigger allowance then. No, look, it's not. It's totally different. Nonviolent. Yeah, if they found out,
he does have violent history.
But he was being harassed, and it was post 9/11.
But he did it twice.
He did do it twice and send both of them to the hospital.
He did it twice, and the gym teacher saying like he had no remorse.
No look on his face, just cold. And
he almost killed the guy.
And you know what? He turned convict pretty fucking quick. Like he caught on really quickly.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Rug. So was the ending satisfying?
Yes.
And why?
Well, was it satisfying? Well, it's so satisfying that I figured that the judgment that the jury had, that they couldn't make a decision. I thought that was a good way to end it.
Yeah.
So there was a hung jury, and then the lady knew that she was wrong because the detective was like, "Yo, we got the wrong guy."
Yep.
And she just didn't want to prosecute.
Yep.
So I was like, "That's a great ending. Like, that's a pretty good, all the strings are all cut. Everything's good.
Yeah.
We're good to go."
Yeah.
I just would have liked maybe an episode longer.
Really?
To have the aftermath, like the epilogue.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anthony, last week we talked about, is the killer's identity even necessary to make this satisfying? Well, how did you feel after the show ended?
I don't know, if I would have been satisfied with anything they did, to be honest with you. It's always hard to wrap up a show when there's so many loose threads in just one episode like that. I agree with Rugboy. I would have liked another episode to kind of decompress, and I would have been cool with another episode just seeing him in the real world again.
Yeah, they give you a little bit of that at the end.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the whole point of the show was that life moves on, but the people that are affected in a case like this don't actually move. Like they're changed forever.
Yeah.
Does the killer matter? I mean, even though it wasn't
They gave us a killer.
Show, yeah, even though it wasn't a whodunit show in the sense, the water cooler talk was all about who did it.
Yeah.
So did the killer matter? Yes, it did matter because that's what everyone was fucking talking about was who fucking did it and what the theories were. Was this killer satisfying? It was out of left field. It caught me.
Yeah.
They should have sprinkled a little bit more of clues to him.
Yes, that's the only thing. He came so out of left field that it was like, what?
That was
and it was so much of for me, it was like these 4 people are pegged as the possible killers. Nas, hearse driver, black friend, a stepfather, that it was no way that any of these 4 are the killer. It's going to be someone else.
That was way too
I would have
obvious.
liked if they would have given us like this 5th candidate, and then it was actually one of the 5 people that they built up to. And it felt like he was almost written in, he was written into the last episode as being close to someone. It was out of left field. He was written as being close to Andrea.
Yeah.
Even though he was never really a part of this up until that episode.
Yeah, it was very kind of.
It was almost too neat.
Forced.
Too neat.
Well, here's the thing: why would Box wait till the very end to be like, "Hey, wait a minute, where did she come from? You didn't check this out before."
Yeah, there was a lot of things. That's the thing that I think was the weakest part of the show is that things that were obvious that should be done, were never discussed. Like when Nazir goes into, he gets put into jail, and he's talking to Box for the first time. He doesn't say what he did.
Right. He doesn't say it any time. And never does anyone mention, hey, this guy had no fucking blood on him when we caught him when he woke up. I really wish they had brought that up. But what I want to say overall, the series, like you said, Anthony, it wasn't a whodunit, but it kind of was. It started that with the hook. I think it started really strong, kind of meandered towards the end. But the ending is satisfied in the sense that if this was a Law and Order episode, all those shits, he would have been not guilty. Everything would have been boom, 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 resolved, boom, boom, moving on. I like that this was a very realistic result. Like the deadlock jury is very real. And for all those reasons, when she's looking over to the defendants, when they ask her this, you want to continue, and their face is just like, oh, please don't. Please make it stop. And she's like, nah, I'm done. And I was like, oh shit. And the final scene made me laugh. It was a great kind of ending to the cat's adventure. Because all you see is the cat run by and it cuts black. Now, Nas is a fucking cokehead or a crackhead. His mom still doesn't believe him. His life is fucked. So the lesson is you go into fucking jail whether you did it or not. You're fucking fucked.
Well, let me add on this. Overall, I really like the show.
Yes.
I'm not complaining about the show. I'm just being slightly nitpicky.
Yeah, no, we should be.
I did think, based on the evidence that was presented, now, obviously, we kind of all an inkling that Nas didn't do it.
Yeah.
But based on the evidence that was presented, I thought it was almost too cute that they did the lock jury. I think the jury should have convicted him based on that evidence that they had.
Huh.
I didn't see an argument for him not doing it.
Yeah, but they poked enough holes. They gave him 4 people that were saw him that night.
True, but there was so much overwhelming evidence against him. Mm-hmm. And the other point I had was some of they painted this as a very realistic show, sort of, with how the justice system is and how investigations work and how a Pakistani is treated.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be that realistic, you can't have holes in your actors and the way they're acting. And as Rugboy pointed out, Box not doing a full investigation was kind of disappointing and being like, and kind of set the, well, what the fuck? If you're going to be a realistic show, then he should have had a realistic investigation. That kind of didn't work for me, as well as Chandra basically throwing away her entire career by making out with Nas.
Can we talk about that? What I got the sense that they knew where it wanted to end. They knew they wanted Jon Stone all fucking eczema'd up to give this great speech. The speech was fantastic. Anybody else that speech would have been just typical. Man, you felt it. You felt it.
Well, the eczema humans him.
Yes.
Like, oh, wow.
And it was a great closing argument. But for him to get there, Chandra has to go down. How do you do that? With this stupid fucking plot of her kissing him and then muling drugs for him. And I never liked any of the scenes where he's swallowing drugs in full view of everyone in the jail. Like, what is this? Nobody's fucking paying attention? Why would she mule drugs? It makes no sense.
Yeah, that was really out of character. It didn't need to happen.
And they built up Chandra as this like strong female character. And then for her to go down this really fucking weak path
right away,
falling for the convict and basically being like I don't up until that point, it was like Chandra really gives a fuck about her career. This is her fucking time to make a mark. And then she's going to throw it all away by making out with Nas.
And
that didn't make any sense.
You get the sense that she's doing it for no money because it's the right thing to do. And the minute she kissed him, I was like, what are you doing, you dumb bitch?
And in this kind of era of like empowering female characters, like what does that say about it? Like that's just the wrong.
They
kind of
fucking Batgirled her like Killing Joke. They Killing Joke Batgirled her.
I don't really care about the message. I care about the character and what the character can do. And I think that's more an egregious thing. Is that you have a character that you've built up, and then all of a sudden, like this weakness is just it. You can't even be a lawyer if you're going to do that.
No, right? Why are you
gotta
even
have that wall?
Yeah,
that flaw was way too big.
Yeah, agreed.
Plus him,
I agree with you, Imran. I think they were trying to get to how the hell are we going to?
Yeah, how do you get there then?
Yeah, how are we going to get her off the closing argument?
Yep.
And that was the only way, and well, not the only way, but that's the way they thought of, and I thought it was weak.
They could have done a thing where she like goes to investigate like Dwayne Reed, and he like
she could have tampered
her.
evidence. She could have not tampered evidence. She could have gone somewhere where she shouldn't have, or gone in without a warrant.
Yeah, and that could have been the thing to boot her.
Been an over eager.
So here's the other question. So the video of them kissing from the jail cell that Freddy got from the guard. Next place it shows up is at Stone's office. Stone thinks Box left it there. Was this Freddy helping his buddy get out? And if so, why? Because I would think Freddy would want Nas to be his friend and hang out in there. Because he even says at the end, he goes, at the end of the day, it's not so bad in here, is it? I didn't understand why he was trying to help him.
Well, he says that to him, but then he also says something along the lines of, "You don't belong here."
Yeah.
Or like I know that there's innocence in you. Like everybody says
You're
didn't
the real
do it,
deal.
but you're the real deal.
Yeah.
So I think he actually like developed a bond with this guy.
Yeah.
And it was like cared for him. So he was like, dude, you don't belong here at all. I'm basically fucking your life by being in here.
So his whole, he was trying to get that out to force a mistrial.
Yes. And there's also the shot of him at the end when Nas is leaving, he's boxing the heavy bag.
Yes.
He can't even stand to look at him.
Yeah, I love that. I was like, why isn't he going to say goodbye? Oh,
because it hurts too much.
Yeah. Really bad boxing. Even I fucking noticed that.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad punches.
What? This is a guy who has a scar on his face from an actual gang fight. Someone show him how to throw a punch on television. What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I forgot to play that clip earlier.
Nice. That works there.
There's our Gene Wilder.
I'm glad you noticed that, because I forgot how bad that was.
He's like swinging wide, hitting the side. I was like, what are you doing?
What did you guys do? Were you guys surprised by the who it was, or who's going to be the next one to get convicted? The attorney,
Ray?
Not the attorney, the financial advisor.
Yeah, Ray. I
just remember him as the high dude in Road Trip, by the way.
Yeah, sideburn guy.
Oh, that's right. So he was earlier in the show. He was there, right? Because he gave Stone some paperwork.
He misled Stone.
Yes. Oh, he was throwing him off. Yeah. It was. I only liked it because at least they told us who they think it is and who probably.
What was he doing again that made him he dated her?
He wanted money from her, and she.
I didn't understand that here. What was he?
He was a gambler.
Yeah,
and he lost the money.
Yes, he was in debt, and he needed money from her to pay off his debts.
So he was already in her finances and could control everything. So if he just offed her,
yeah, he's gonna get the money. He can get the money,
or he can get away with taking. I think he took like $500,000 from her, and then he can just fudge the papers.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Why was she afraid of him though? Because he could have just taken the money without doing anything to her.
I don't think she was afraid of him. She was just yelling at him, and then she
the
ran
whole
off.
thing is she had to go somewhere that night, and
she was. Yeah,
her.
The video that tipped off Box.
She kept looking over her shoulder.
Back. Yeah,
yeah.
Well, then they also, which was kind of weird. They remember that one scene in the beginning of, I think, the 7th or 6th episode where there's this black chick that's murdered and Box is looks just like
similar
the,
MO. Yeah, what the fuck was that?
So is this guy like a serial killer?
But that was like a prostitute.
Yeah, but I mean, if this guy is swindling money from Andrea,
I don't know.
Maybe he enjoys himself a prostitute or two.
Yeah, that's possible.
Maybe he is like a serial killer.
I mean, and they're going after him. Like they know they got enough, and they're gonna. She was like, "Let's go."
I do like the line where the DA is like, Box presents the DA the evidence, and the DA is like, "But we got too much on the other kid."
Yeah, yes.
I actually felt like that's real. I feel like a DA would do that.
There was
we got this in the bag.
Yeah, well, and that's why I think Box maybe didn't investigate. Because he felt he had the guy, but then I always felt like he didn't think he did it. That Nas did.
He didn't prosecute right away. That was the whole
he
thing.
waited a long time. I love that line though. Turturro says something like, Nas's innocence was done the night of 4:45 until the 10 minutes when they took him down. He was he was already presumed guilty or whatever. Really good line. Good shit. I felt bad as eczema.
Very well written. Yeah. Very for the most part, great camera work. Just a couple points here.
Couple little things, but overall, amazing, fucking compelling television.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that there's a lapse in reality when you're sitting there and you have the kid gets brought to jail and doesn't tell him that he left the building and came back in and they cut his hand on that. That would at least They were all guessing at that point.
I know why. That's what I was yelling. Dude, the first 2 episodes of the show, I'm literally yelling at the television, telling Nas, just fucking tell them what happened.
Yeah,
what are you waiting for?
He's an idiot.
He's a fucking. I get it. You're scared, but you're being stupid. And he took the knife. But
he doesn't even tell John Turturro his lawyer anything.
I know, and he held back a lot of shit. Like the time Chandra was like, "Wait, he did what?" Like they didn't know anything about his past. What an asshole!
Yeah, I mean, is that how it works? That you don't tell your lawyer anything?
I feel
that could set you free, or that could explain why you have a wound on your hand.
I didn't understand. Okay, this is another. Now you guys are bringing up another nitpick. I didn't understand Nas's character at all because. If this so like Rugboy brought up like him being a lot more than meets the eye, which they didn't portray in the first 2 episodes. But then like if he is this smart of a kid, like why is he getting tats of Sinbad on his hands?
That's the most
and why is he
cliched
tatting
thing.
himself up like that? Like why is he getting a tat on his neck?
Yeah,
like, I know the prison is corrupting him, but like I thought he was smarter.
Yeah, you could put it somewhere else. It didn't like when he shaved his head. I'm like. What the fuck are you doing? Like, you can't be this stupid. But is this...
If he did that without the protection of that dude, then it makes sense because he's trying to project, but he already had protection. He didn't even do any of that.
So did you guys get the feeling that the darkness was in him and jail brought it out, or that the prison made him a convict like really quickly?
You want to know what I think?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's... Do you really?
Yes, we do.
Do you really? This is the thing, and Imran could probably speak to this. I can to a certain degree. When you're raised in a household that's so strict and so old world, you feel like prison's almost like a vacation because you can actually live out some of these things that you want to like be. That you want to be a bad guy, you want to be kind of tough, and you're not allowed to. So maybe that's a little bit of that wish fulfillment.
Okay,
he gets to be. Like his dark self.
That Rugs, that hits home because you know why? For me, that was all of college.
Oh shit.
I was like, I can do whatever I want. And you just answered a question. In my head, I was like, why would you just start smoking crack out of nowhere? But that's kind of why. He was dabbled in dry. He could literally do what everyone else is doing it. It's like college. It's like college. Just a lot worse.
I've seen that with cousins too. And not me personally, but cousins that have strict parents and they end up rebelling like crazy. To answer your question, Imran, I think what the show was trying to portray is that prison brought the darkness already out of him. Like he already had the darkness and prison just was like accelerated that growth.
Listen, parents, if you're listening, let your kids do what they want early.
Let them do what the fuck they want.
Because if you don't, they're going to do worse things when they're older because they have to get
Not
it all
in every
out.
case, Imran.
No, every single fucking case that person will be. Because it kind of stunts you when you start doing it. Then it just keeps going. Now, if it's not taboo early on, there isn't that urge to just keep doing it. I think in every case. Anyways, friendly parenting advice from someone who doesn't have kids.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's great.
That's just speaking.
It just depends on what your outlook of the world is.
Yeah.
You know, like it depends on how strict you are. That's awesome. Like if you're having an oppressive family, then I could see that breaking out of that and just going buck wild might be appetizing, but I think a lot of people acquiesce.
It does depend on your character and willpower.
It reminds me of Bobby Boucher and Waterboy.
Bobby Boucher, my mama said gold. Bobby, come here, Bobby Boucher.
Benjamin Franklin is the devil.
See what happens when you hamper your kid early? He turns into
I like boobies, mommy.
Look, but this really had a special place in my heart, much like Serial. Just the story of these Pakistani immigrant families are kind of becoming commonplace now, and it's kind of cool to see, your people.
So if this story was not about a Pakistani, would you like it as much?
I don't know if it would work as well. It's interesting to bring that up because this was based on a BBC drama called Criminal Justice, where it's the same thing, except it's a white guy cab driver in London. If you're going to set this in New York about a cab driver.
I don't think it works as well because I think that having the oppressive parents and that whole idea of 9/11 and people, doing that. I think that rings true to a lot of people living here, that we've experienced that type of stuff.
I mean, that's the beauty of the show. Is it was about corruption, about racial inequality, about injustice, about the criminal justice system, about how we deal with our neighbors that are different and shit. Like it touched on all those things very well. And yeah, I mean, if you're gonna do a show about a cab driver in New York, it's gonna have to be a Packy guy. That's all.
I mean, it works. It works especially in this time with the current political climate and the remarks candidates are making about Muslims. So I think it just added the show could work. It just added an extra layer to the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gives it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I felt bad for the dad when they didn't want to have a cab with him.
Well, you feel bad. And then you feel bad like with the press saying things about him. Like, he's a kid from New York. What are you talking about?
You know what's ironic?
He's not going to be extradited. He's not going to have to be extradited. He's not running to Pakistan.
There's the thing. And like, that's why maybe they could have padded out the end a little bit, because when he does come out and you see the community looking at him and him, now he knows how to stare fucking people down. Like that dude Amr who testified against him comes into the Star. He gives him the fucking prison stare. You're like, now
I like that scene a lot because you notice that in a lot of like minority or even like European small tight-knit communities, it's like you shame the community.
Oh yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Especially you being this kid grown here, you have all this privilege. You know, your parents sacrificed so much, and you shamed us.
This is what's shitty about ethnic communities, and I deal with this all the time. Like my mom is Pakistani. This culture, they care too much what the community thinks, and she always brings this up, and I'm like, who cares what they think? How it's gonna look? It's always like, how is this gonna look on me?
Because you want to know what adds to that is that they're holding on to that community for dear life.
Yeah.
And they think they can't survive without it. And once you realize that you can integrate and be independent of that and kind of like you could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like that's the liberation that this country provides.
But how about the community adapt some of their old fucking traditions and modernize?
That's not going to happen because you're bringing the old country to the new country.
Yeah,
right. What I mean, this is taking the discussion to a whole nother level. But you notice in a lot of very ethnic conservative communities, like let's say one of the kids starts dating someone that's not of the same race.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a big deal. Absolutely.
That's a big deal. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing?
At the same time,
you're ruining the community. You're tainting the blood.
You don't even have to be of a completely different race. You could just be slightly different.
Yeah, like a different subsection. What's interesting in my family as time has gone on, and I love this, there have been more and more like white people getting married into the family to where I'll show up to like a party and there's like a bunch of white people who I'm kind of related to. I'm like, hey, what's up?
That's because that old generation kind of fades away and the new generation
comes very interesting. And now we're getting all these mixed babies, all these beautiful like cross gray, all color babies, and they're always very attractive children, I find. Anyways, what do you mix?
Just like dogs.
Just like dogs, yeah.
One more quick thing about that show.
Yeah.
Remember that scene where Nas's brother is spray painting lockers red?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What was that?
This brother was another red herring, I think.
Why did that happen? Was that him? Like, was nothing.
Was that him like acting out and vandalizing shit?
I don't know. I guess that's what it was, but I thought there was going to be more to that.
Didn't something happen to the brother? Like the school didn't want him to go there anymore?
Oh, wasn't he getting into fights? People were starting shit with him, and the school wanted him to transfer out.
Well, and that's the thing, man. He can't, he's fucked up his whole family's life, and he didn't even do anything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
If you just not, all you have to do is tell that girl to get out of the cab.
By the end of it, though, I got the impression that Nas even questioned if he did it or not.
Dude,
remember when at the
that
end,
was a great line where she's like,
the DA just fucking
did you kill
pretzels
her?
him so much, and he's like, I don't know.
I was like, fuck, they're gonna convict him. Why'd you say that? And even with that, a deadlocked jury. But
Nas doesn't even know if he did. Like, he didn't necessarily get off.
Yeah.
Because the jury was like, no, you're innocent. He got off on a technicality.
Yeah, complete technicality.
In Nas's mind, he's probably like, did I kill her?
And in the community, there's no closure. They all think he still did it.
Right.
Fuck, that's fucked up.
Where do we go from here, though?
Well,
I don't think you can. Can you? Is there? You can't do a season.
I don't think you should do another one.
You got to do a whole different case.
Right.
maybe you could have a whole different case, but maybe you can call back to it like in like a side thing.
Maybe you could follow John Turturro's character.
Yeah, and then you might see Nazir pop back in or something.
I don't know if they're going to do a season 2. I don't know if it's.
This was the HBO picked this up because it was a limited series run, specifically.
But HBO wants people to watch their shit.
Yeah, and
this was an awesome fucking show.
How many people watch this? Did it do good numbers, or is there any information out for that or anything?
I'll look it up. What's interesting is the next big thing in October that will be probably the next water cooler thing is Westworld with Anthony Hopkins. Did you guys see that trailer?
Do you think that that's going to be big?
I'm not sure. It's a very interesting trailer. It's pretty much based on the Michael Crichton book about. It's kind of like a Matrix-y thing. This guy just creates a world and artificial humans, and they don't know that they're not real or they're being controlled. I feel like it has potential.
Can I answer Rugboy's question real quick? So I looked it up.
Yeah.
Night of, when it debuted, did 774,000 viewers, same day viewers.
Wow.
On HBO. The finale did triple that number. 2.2 million people came and watched it just on the same day, and that's not including DVR, HBO Go, HBO Now. So
I see a thing here.
This was a pretty strong growth.
Deadline says
round it to 3 million.
Well, yeah. Deadline says with the for the debut with streaming overall, it's about 3 million. Yeah.
The debut?
Yeah. Just the debut.
If it did triple same day, you could say this 9 million probably watched this.
That's pretty good numbers for HBO. How many people watch Game of Thrones there?
A lot more people.
Really?
Yeah.
You got to remember though, HBO is not even on base. You got to
pay for it.
Cable. Yeah, exactly. So HBO is premium television.
Listen, great job by
good numbers for very good numbers.
Great job by this producer director Steven Zalian. I don't know how you say his name, but he kind of spearheaded the whole thing. This is his first TV producing gig. He wrote on fucking Schindler's List and some other good stuff, and this is his first foray into television. And I love the way it was shot and filmed and everything. So,
well, I'm reading here too that True Detective, which was on HBO, experienced a growth spurt that was similar, smaller but similar.
Yeah.
And that convinced HBO to order a second season of it.
Which was not good.
But when ratings increase like that over a span of episodes, especially that much, HBO has decisions to make.
But HBO is weird because they were killing it with Deadwood and cut too early. They're killing it with Rome. Now, that was expensive. That got cut. Game of Thrones is fucking hella expensive, but they're all in on that. I think they need to start getting some other things to support it on.
I think the Game of Thrones is way bigger than Rome, though.
Oh, okay. So that justifies the price and the time.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones is the most successful thing they've ever done. They thought, more
than Sopranos,
you think?
I think it's the same as Sopranos.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think because isn't it? There's only like 2 seasons left. They got to be freaking out a little bit trying to think of what.
Yeah, so they got to now find the next thing that's going to.
Hey, it could be a DCEU property. You never know. You never fucking know.
I don't know. It has to be something that has that broad appeal. That has so the thing is, Game of Thrones has got all of these different characters and all of these different plot lines, and it's
soap opera. Yeah, that's
and so women can get into it.
Yeah.
And it's not so heavy on magic. There's a lot of sex and shit like that.
It's a good formula.
Yeah, they need something like on that level.
Well, I'm reading here they interviewed Riz Ahmed.
Yeah.
And he was saying, I think it was conceived as a one-off season, but if there is a second season, they might do a different case like they did with the British version of the set.
So it was like anthology.
So like Rugboy talked about a different sort of investigation.
Here's something else that I thought was ironic. While the show was on, one Brendan Dassey from Making a Murderer. Anthony, remember the Brendan Dassey?
Yeah, I do.
While the show is on, his conviction gets overturned and he gets out of jail.
Oh, shit.
Almost mirroring the goddamn TV show, sort of, a little bit. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, ironic.
Dassey should never have been in there. I think he's...
One more night of plot, they're saying, this is just a rumor, but they could tackle a case where a domestic abuse victim is convicted of murder.
Ooh.
And the ramifications of that.
So someone who is raped...
Yeah. but
is
then murders,
accused.
comes back and kills her.
Oh shit, that's
Kills
pretty
her
good.
rapist.
I like that. What? Ooh, yeah. Does that? Oh, I like that already. Show me that show. Is it on yet? Fuck.
Not yet. John Turturro though has Eczema and he's ready to film.
That's right. Keep with the fucking. Send him some chopsticks. All right, that's good stuff. I'm glad we all got to enjoy this fucking show.
And it got into a deeper conversation
Yes,
about
yes.
the conservative ethnic groups.
I think that's
Can I just bring up one thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw this thing this weekend or this week. It's Final Fantasy Kingsglaive or something. That's what it's called.
Glaven, King's Glaven,
It's like the third movie made by Squaresoft or Sony,
right?
With all the CG 3D characters.
Yes.
Okay.
Amazing effects on some of the characters. They created this guy. He doesn't look like a real human being, but it's as close to I've ever seen.
Whoa.
And the rest of the characters, not so much. You could tell that they spent all their time and money on this one guy. But it was actually pretty cool. Like they all kind of like they're these knights that defend this futuristic realm. If you ever played Final Fantasy, it's like the future and the past kind of amalgamated into one universe. And I just thought it was a spectacle. It wasn't a good movie.
Is it new? When did it come out?
It didn't. I don't know if it came out yet.
Oh, it's coming out.
I looked it up, and I think you can see it pretty soon.
Yeah, I didn't really pay the.
There is a showtime in. There's a showtime in one of my local theaters.
Oh, it's out.
Yeah.
I never was a big Final Fantasy fan. I didn't really play, but I did appreciate how there's probably the fucking most realistic CGI people I've ever
the
seen.
cutscenes in Final Fantasy were always. I think those changed the game.
Yeah, like you don't need people anymore.
I think this was supposed to be a cutscene at one point, but then the game got trashed. But they had all of these assets, so they just continued to finish it and make it into a movie.
Why did the game fall apart? Just people got tired of 15 Final Fantasies?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's a lot of Final Fantasies. I believe they're like on Final Fantasy 30 or something if you count all of the ones in Japan and shit.
I do find it very weird that we're talking about like diversity a lot. This is not very diverse.
Oh no, it's all white people all the time.
It's weird that it's Japanese people that made it.
And I'm looking for the Asian guy. There's like two Asian characters on the side.
It was made by self-loathing Asians. Like they just like the white race. They want everybody. They don't want people to look like themselves. They see that every day. They can put in fucking white, good-looking people. That's what I think.
I just think you could make, if you're gonna make somebody, you can make anything. You can make something that's completely like race non-specific. You can make something that's not even like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that. I mean, whatever, but I feel like this guy looks like the guy from Maroon 5 a little bit. Like, I wonder if that's what was.
Wait, Adam? What's his face?
Yeah, it looked like kind of Adam Lambert.
Well, they had Aaron Paul doing one of the voices.
He was. I think he was the main guy.
What's the movie called?
Kingsglaive.
Final Fantasy Kingsglaive. Yeah, Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15.
What's a glaive? The fuck is a glaive?
A glaive is a knight.
Oh, what? Okay. Why didn't they just say King's Knight? I guess that's stupid. A lot of K's.
It's their stupid name.
Glaven. All right, I'll put a link to that in the show notes, listener. If you want to check that out, we just got a few show bits, and then we're gonna peace out.
Jock and Nerd.
I just want to shout out this wonderful charity campaign, again, that David Malofsky and our friends over at A Place to Hang and Cape are doing. They are kickstarting a calendar that's all about anti-bullying. It's in collaboration with the Anti-Bullying Alliance, and it's going to have drawings of kids of themselves. Kids draw themselves as superheroes, and then an illustrator will flesh it out. Each month we'll have both drawings. I will be doing one of these drawings. It's very exciting, but they need to raise funds to print the calendar. So I will put a link in the show notes. They're 20% funded. We have until November 2016. 10% of the funds go to the Anti-Bullying Alliance, and it's a great cause. Maybe I'll put the audio of Malofsky's video from Indiegogo at the very, very end of the episode so you can hear it from the man himself.
Yeah, do that.
Also, September, it's September. So last year with them, they did a fun thing called Spider-Tember. And we did a bunch of shows just talking about Spider-Man, celebrating Spider-Man.
About Rugboy's favorite
Dan Slott. Every episode was about Dan Slott and how awesome he is. Isn't that right, Rugs?
Yeah, he's the greatest. He knows everything there is to know about Spider-Man.
Dude, in the latest episode of Spider-Man...
He is the authority on Spider-Man, apparently.
Yes.
These clones...
I like Dan Slott so much, I'd like to take all the comics he wrote and rewrite them.
You know what? That's a huge compliment. You know, who doesn't want... He's fucking with clones again in the book. Anyways, this year, what they're doing is it's called Small Timber. Hashtag Small Timber. They're celebrating the little heroes, both in and out of comics. So this includes like small press comics, kid heroes, real and fictional kid heroes, and shrinking heroes like Adam or Ant-Man. Everything small for Small Timber, and we're going to talk to a couple of guys in the small press this month. You're going to hear from them that Place to Hang Your Cape supports, and maybe turn you on to some smaller press books, because really the mainstream 2 superhero books, they're kind of lacking a little bit, and I need to find some good stuff to read. Pretty much. However, Rebirth, though, they sold like 12 million copies. They fucking, that thing did better than New 52 launch. So
that Watchmen effect.
But is it gonna last?
I think once people found out that they had the Watchmen in there, they were like, well, all right, I gotta check this out.
I mean, and it's a lot of number 1 issues. So the number 1 always is gonna be a good job. But
I admit that I bought some.
I bought some too, dude. DC's killing it in sales. But let's pick up some small press books like Paradox Girl or some other fun stuff.
Snot Girl.
Snot Girl. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
All right.
Brian Lee O'Malley, dude.
Oh, it's the Scott Pilgrim guy. I love his stuff.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't draw it, though.
He just writes it?
He just writes it.
Right on. And another great bit of news, everybody. We have a new Patreon on Patreon. We have a new patron. Geek Boner. We have a new member of our exclusive Jock and Nerd fan club that you can find at jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Thank you very much to Brett Zdovka, who wrote in. Remember?
Wow, you got that name. Is that how you do it?
I don't know. I got it. It rolled off the tongue, though. It felt good.
I would have gone Brett Bizdefka.
I think the B is silent.
Oh,
shit. Anyways, he, along with Zika's Viral Comics, Jimmy McPike, Jesse Looney, A Place to Hang Your Cape, Philip Milan, our hook supporting the show on Patreon, part of our exclusive fan club. I can't thank you enough. Remember Brett wrote in? He works for that live streaming company, Boxcast, and he sent in
that guy?
Yeah, he sent in a very nice email how he listens to us every week. Thank you so much, Brett. You the man.
Terrific.
Get one of those.
Yeah.
If you, listener, you want some bonus content, if you want to join the exclusive fan club, remember Foom from Marvel in the 70s? Nobody's going to remember this. We consider our Patreon as a virtual tip jar, but even more than that, our exclusive fan club for as low as $1.
Yeah, because you get shit when you donate more than $1 or less.
Just
or
like
more, sorry.
Yeah, just like back in the day where you would join like these fan clubs and they would send you like a little pog and a certificate and a thing. Same thing, only everything's digital. For as little as $1 a month, you're going to get access to a private feed where you could ask us questions. It's like a lockdown Facebook feed, but there's tons of bonus content, full episodes, outtakes.
Instant reactions
to movies.
Shows.
Rugboy has a series of ringtones that you could download and put on your phone and make your phone say Rugboy shit every time it rings.
Oh, shit.
It's awesome.
Sometimes I'll do a rant and send it into.
Yep. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Listener, join the fan club, support the show. We're almost close to covering our media hosting costs. Very exciting.
Whoa.
Good stuff. If you want to get in touch with us by other means, go to jockandnerd.com/contact. Also, if you want to really help the show, go on to jockandnerd.com/review and write us a nice rating and review, because that just bumps us up to that iTunes bitch.
Fuck yeah. We love our reviews. And you'll get every show auto-magically right into your pocket, right on your device. It's that easy. Ruggs, where can they find you if they want to say hi?
You can find me on Twitter. I don't know where the fuck you guys are, but you guys gotta go to Really Rugboy on Twitter and find me, because I'm slacking in the followers department.
Listen,
I want to be 1,000 dude, not like a 500 dude.
Let's get the numbers. If Ruggs is not in the dumpster behind the Subway restaurant, you can find him on Twitter. That's where he lives.
That's right. Really, Rugboy.
At Really Rugboy. Finally, listener, just tell a friend. Find someone who loves all this shit. Find someone who watched the night of and thinks Nas did it, and run up to him, give him one of these.
Jock and Nerd.
And be like, Nas didn't do it, and run off. Or anybody who likes the MCU, DCEU, comic books, geeking out in general. We're way better than Kevin Smith's show. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, shit.
100 times better.
Have you seen any of that, Ruggs?
No.
Okay. It's
what was it?
Don't watch it.
It's very jump cutty and
it's Entertainment Tonight,
yes,
or extra like Access Hollywood, but for comics.
Geek version.
But where is it?
It's on AMC.
Oh,
yeah, like late at night, like like midnight or 11
like
PM.
Comic Book Man. Is that
the same slot? No,
more. It's not even that nerdy. It's more like they get actors and like talk about comic book related.
It's Kevin Smith and Greg Gunberg, and they get guys like J.J. Abrams, Charlie Cox, Jeff Loeb. They talk to Nathan Fillion, Alan Tudyk.
It's a half hour, so it's
real quick,
and it's like 22 minutes with commercials. So you have to. It's very cut, like little blurb cut to something else.
So there's not a lot of meat to it.
There is though. I like some of the content.
I don't think
you just have to like get past the fucking production. It's like super produced. It's kind of annoying.
Man, I used to love Kevin Smith so much.
Yeah. Are you gonna watch Yoga Hosers? Are you even interested in that fucking thing?
I'll give it a whirl just to see it.
I haven't seen Tusk.
I'm not like
right.
Oh my god, I gotta see this shit. I'm not clamoring for it.
Yeah. Give us Clerks 3. Anyways, I was closing the show. I don't know what happened. Listener, thanks for shoving us in your ear holes. We have geekified you now about 25-30%. Come back next week. We'll work on that. This has been the Jock and Nerd Podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the jock when he remembers to talk.
Yeah, he's the nerd when I remember to talk.
Yahoo! We'll hear you next time.
Bro, do you even podcast?
Who cares? The jock said that. Rugboy approved.
Jock and Nerd.
Do you like superheroes? Do you hate bullies? Do you like supporting charities? Well, good news. This year, A Place to Hang Your Cape is joining forces with the Anti-Bullying Alliance to bring you a brand new calendar on the theme The Power for Good to raise funds for Anti-Bullying Week. Back in 2015, we produced a new calendar called Year of the Mockbuster. That calendar featured nerdy dates, like character birthdays, or the time Marty McFly arrived in Future Hill Valley. This calendar will also feature nerdy dates, including major movie releases and heroic events. We've already printed one high-quality calendar, so we know a bit about how to do it, and we need your help to make another. We need your help to raise funds to get the calendar printed with high-quality paper and graphic design. We at A Place to Hang Your Cape love celebrating heroes of all sizes, so this year's calendar will feature work by kid artists of themselves as superheroes. The original drawings by the children will be reinterpreted by professional artists. We're donating 10% of all the funds raised to the Anti-Bullying Alliance to help them out financially as well as spread their message around the world. This calendar will be used at fundraising events to raise money and awareness for Anti-Bullying Week. So if you love superheroes, hate bullies, and like helping charities, support us today.